Public domain comic book theater.
Look, I understand the cowboy hat and the bandana and boots and all, but what's with this diaper? I'm kind of self-conscious about my varicose. Oh, we're on. Hello, kiddies. It's me, the Frontier Cupid. The Old West was a place so fraught with perils and hardship that it needed a rugged, manly Cupid who was tougher than leather to bring romance to all the cowpokes and pistoleras. Yeah, that should fix this mess. I still got it. The history of our expansion into the West is filled with brave men, and even braver women, who had to set aside the need for love to bring order to a lawless land. One such woman is Sheriff Sal. Wait a minute. Doesn't this girl have a last name? Oh, come on! This woman's the main character. The male lead has a last name. Wait a moment. Hold on. This character starred in her own series of adventures, and she doesn't... No, wait. Here it is. One such woman is Sheriff Sally Starr, who brought law and order to the town of Red Dog, to the detriment of her personal life. But certainly your old pal Cupid could do something to resolve her issues during Sheriff Sal's last stand.
Gosh, Sal, I love you so much it hurts. When I have you in the moonlight like this, you're all soft and sweet, and that badge of yours keeps coming between us.
I'm not the one letting the badge come between us, Flash. I love you too. I'll marry you whenever you say, but I won't give up my job of sheriff.
A gal who lets her pride and ambition get in the way ain't making much of a wife in my mind.
Seems to me it's your pride that's making you act all ornery.
Being sheriff ain't no job for a woman anyhow. Come election, I'm gonna run against you.
Maybe that's what you had in mind all along. Maybe you want the job instead of me.
In a few days, the town of Red Dog is divided.
I feel like Sal needs to be the...
Sal's kept order in Red Dog. We need to keep her in.
But we're a laughingstock in this territory. We need a man like Flash.
Front laws out of town. We need Sal.
We need to get rid of petticoat politics. Flash is the man for the job.
I reckon you think if you win, I'll marry you. I wouldn't marry you if there wasn't another man on Earth. And you ain't gonna win.
Maybe this will learn you that a gal's job ain't chasing outlaws.
You and your ideas of what a gal should do. I'll show you.
You've had things long enough. Maybe this will learn you that a gal's job ain't chasing outlaws.
That's it, Flash. Purty girls ought to be kissed. They oughtn't to be sheriffs.
Kiss her right out of office, Flash.
Flash Gannon, I'll never forgive you for that. I ought to shoot you in your tracks. I'll make you sorry you ever dared kiss me in public.
Later, as Sal thinks about her situation back at the sheriff's office.
Looky here, Sal. We've been backing you right along on account we knew you're a pappy, and we are making a right good sheriff here lately.
But too many things have been happening. Rustlers are back taking cattle again, and there's a new coyote holding up and robbing along the trail. They're calling him the Masked Stranger, and he got the Lone Star payroll yesterday.
I know all this, boys. I've been working on it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rustler and the Masked Stranger were the same Lobo. But I haven't been able to throw a loop on him.
Tain't too good for you that this rattlesnake crawled across your path at election time. Makes the town think maybe Flash could have had that maverick roped up by now.
Say, this trouble just got started since Flash been running against Sal. We never heard of this Masked Stranger until now. You don't suppose Flash...
Oh, no. Flash is not that kind of breed. We're fighting each other, but he wouldn't turn outlaw just to put me in a bad light.
You can't tell. It's worth thinking about.
You better keep an eye on Flash.
You're plumb loco on that line, and election or no, I don't aim to let you pin anything on Flash that he didn't do.
There's Lone Star owner Mr. Brown and his foreman, Joe. We better tell them both what we think.
Yeah, they ought to.
And so, Mr. Brown is informed of the suspicion.
She better do something about this masked stranger and the rustling.
He sure had if he wants my vote. I've been losing a dozen cows a night, and having my payroll stolen was even worse.
I was up in the hills looking for strays when that masked stranger got the payroll. But it don't look to me like Miss Sal's to blame. This outlaw seems a pretty smart hombre.
That's why Pete and me figure it was a trick of Flash Gannon's. Joe, maybe he's doing these things so we'll feel that we need a man for sheriff and elect him.
It's Flash sure enough. He figures on being sheriff and the masked stranger, having everything his own way with no chance of the law getting him on account of he's the law.
Let's find Flash!
This ain't no job for a lady sheriff. Find Flash and ask questions later.
Come on, fellas, let's go.
Meanwhile, Sally Starr. That's her full name. I looked it up in an almanac. That's a book. Scours the Badlands, her mind conflicted.
I'm gonna comb these hills and valleys until I find some trace of the masked stranger or the rustler, even if he's one and the same person. He can't just fade into thin air. Wait. Flash, what are you doing in the hills? What's that in your hand?
I've been looking for the masked stranger or the rustler, and I came on this cache of clothes. It looks like the clothes a bandit wears. And down in the valley, there's cattle that's been rustled.
By rights, I ought to shoot you first and ask questions after. That's what the townsfolk are going to do if they find you. I shouldn't even be talking to you after what you did to me in front of everybody. But in spite of it all, I'm giving you a chance to come clean.
Come clean? I don't know what you're driving at, Sal.
Some of the folks are thinking you're the masked stranger and the rustler. These things have been happening around election time, and a sheriff that can't catch a bad hombre terrorizing the country doesn't have much chance of being re-elected.
Sal, you can't believe that.
I didn't until now. But what am I to think when I see you with those duds in your hands and... Oh, Flash, I can't believe it.
Sal, my girl.
And Flash feels the pickaxe of love dig deep between his shoulder blades.
What? It's the Wild West. People are tougher than normal. Simple arrows just won't cut it. You need something with a little heft.
Honey, you do love me, and this proves it.
Oh, Flash.
I love you, honey, and I wouldn't lie to you. I don't know a thing about that dirty dog that's been rustling and robbing.
Not now, Flash. There's a bunch of riders coming.
Look, the sheriff's here ahead of us. But this ain't no job for a gal.
There ain't no mistake about it, boys. That's the clothes the masked stranger wears.
Only one thing to do with rustlers and bandits. Get out of the way, Miss Sal.
Stand back, all of you. I'm still sheriff around here.
We sure hit the right trail. Down in that hidden valley are all the cattle rustled from our ranch, Mr. Brown.
I'm warning you all. Stand back. I don't want to pump lead into you. We're friends.
I'm not hiding behind any woman's skirts. If they want me, Sal, let them come and get me.
We aim to take Flash.
We don't want to hurt you, Miss Sal, but everything is pointing toward Flash being the masked stranger.
Even as sheriff, you got no coal to shield the guilty man.
You have no positive proof of Flash's guilt, and as sheriff, it's my duty to see that even a guilty person gets a fair trial. We're civilized now, so there's going to be no more necktie parties around here with the wrong man at the end of the rope. If you suspect Flash, it's up to you to prove he's guilty. Until then, he's my prisoner, and I'll be responsible for him.
Sal's been right a lot of times. Maybe she is now.
I reckon Flash ought to have a fair trial before we hand him.
I hate to do this, Flash, but there's no other way.
It's all right, honey. I always aim to be handcuffed to you anyhow.
Late at night, Sal reveals her hand.
I had to put you in here, but now I'm going to release you in my custody. Our horses are outside.
You mean we're gonna escape together?
No, I couldn't do that. When I took my oath of office, I promised to uphold the law. I'm letting you out, but I'm bringing you back.
What are you planning, sweetheart?
You've been after me to marry you for years. If you still mean it, I thought we'd ride to Dry Gulch and get the Parsons to do it tonight. When the circuit judge comes tomorrow, he'll ask me about where I found you. I'll have to tell the truth, and it'll make you look bad. But if we're married, the law books say a wife don't have to testify against her husband, so...
I'd rather it wasn't this way, but it's something to be getting you at last.
And so, the two lovebirds hightail it up to Dry Gulch.
I now pronounce you man and wife.
If I hadn't been so stubborn, we'd have done this long ago. But now, I gotta get you back to jail before daybreak.
But the newlyweds find their plan has been found out.
Don't touch your gun, Flash. I'm the sheriff, and I won't fire unless they fire first.
I should have let you take this responsibility.
Joe done told us you let Flash out, and while he was out, the stage was held up again by the masked stranger.
That proves Flash done it. We're through fooling. We want him!
You say Joe told you. Where is he now?
Say, where is Joe?
What difference does it make?
I'll tell you what difference it makes, and we were all pretty dumb not to figure it out before. How did Joe know I'd let Flash out?
I don't know. I assume.
He was probably sneaking around the jail. And why? Because he was gonna let Flash out himself so he could blame this new robbery on him.
Why, that makes sense.
While you galoots was chasing Flash, aiming to string him up, Joe was getting away with the robbery. I can give you my word Flash didn't do it. He was with me every minute. Come on, men. We've got to find Joe.
I bet you he's headed for that hidden valley where I found them rustled cattle.
Good idea, Flash.
There he is!
Rope him, Flash.
I'll get him if it's the last thing I do, darling. I got him.
Look, the money's still on him. My money.
Our money, you mean?
We sure owe Flash an apology. Catching Joe red-handed that way with the money on him makes us out to be a bunch of greenhorns.
It's only a matter of time before he confesses.
I guess our sheriff is the smartest one in the country.
Thanks heaps, boys. But I'm resigning.
What?
The law reads that if one candidate withdraws, the runner-up gets the job. Flash is more than the runner-up. He's the winner?
But you did all the thinking and stuff. All I did was rope the owl hoot, and you could have done that.
So make Flash your deputy so he can do the heavy lifting while you do the law enforcement.
I'm withdrawing and resigning to be just Mrs. Flash. Oh, hell no. I did not sign up for this.
Just say the line.
But after me doing all the legwork and figuring out everything, I give up my job just to become a trophy wife? I was the star of this book until the publishers decided to jump on the romance bandwagon.
I gotta agree with my wife here. No reason she can't be married to me and be sheriff. I see that now after watching her crack this case.
We've striven to be historically accurate with these stories.
even when the story's ending contradicts everything we've learned?
That it contradicts the character's story arc?
Look, it was a different time.
So I should just capitulate? Screw this.
Just cut to Frontier Cupid.
Oh no. You put me in this outfit, but I ain't gonna be responsible for this.
Fine. Just cut to the outro.
Fight the power, kids! Question authority!
You've been listening to Sheriff Sal's Last Stand, adapted by Thomas DJ, produced by Chris Honeywell, and performed by the Akadekaganagon Theater Works. Sarah Palmero was Sheriff Sally Starr. David Ellis was Flash Gannon. Chris Honeywell was Frontier Cupid. Nicole Tomte was Lady Citizen, saloon owner, preacher, and producer. Chris Tyler was Banker Ted. Eugene R. Hendricks was Rancher Pete and Cowhand. Thomas DJ was Male Citizen, Blacksmith, and Mr. Brown. Jim Moon was Joe. This audio play was based on the story featured in the A.A. Wynn comic Western Love Trails No. 7, published in 1949, penciled by King Ward, and is in the public domain. If you enjoyed this story, it and many other comic books in the public domain are available at digitalcomicmuseum.com. Please visit and support them. Please visit 8TW at akadekaganagon.blogspot.com for news on upcoming and current projects. Until next time, good night.
This broadcast was brought to you by Grandma Gruntz's old-fashioned pies, cakes, and pizza rolls. Grandma Gruntz, defying the laws of time and space since 2097.